Hey guys, what is up? Thanks so much for tuning in. I am Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive. And we're just going to look at current energies of protection. So what is in your environment that you might not be aware of, that you might need protection from? Oh yeah, I did want to show you guys. I just picked up my tarot deck and I was about to shuffle. And it came out as Seven of Cups, the devil energy, right? So the devil often represents what we do need protecting from. And, you know, it can be an energy that's very enticing, very alluring. You know, a lot of times it represents some of our woundings, like places that we have trouble saying no or detaching from certain substance. Forgotten. Very interesting. So let's look and see like what's in your environment right now, what needs to be looked at, addressed, paid attention to. Sometimes we don't necessarily have to do it right off the bat, you know, like kind of break ties with a person, place, or thing, but it needs to be in our awareness. So we're smart, so we're privy to, you know, how to navigate that situation. So there's myth. So this to me is like liar energy. This is people, places, and things that make it look a certain way that it's not authentically. You know, and even the way that this card depicts it, that dude is working really hard, or woman, you know, whatever, but working really hard to make that globe, that ball, look very perfect, right? And it's something that is, you know, overshadowing the landscape in the background. So to me, this has like a lot of control mechanisms behind it. So definitely someone in your environment trying to maintain a certain level of control, but not really going about it in an honest way, you know? And your subconscious is telling you that. A lot of times when I see that unconscious energy, this really speaks to, yes, our intuition, our gut feelings, but also things that kind of come to us in our dream world. Maybe it's just this like, you know, download, this like instant awareness, understanding, knowing. That's all attached to our unconscious. This is also about really kind of connecting with that part of ourselves in meditation, in prayer, you know, through grounding exercises, etc. Something that we might not see. That's exactly why I'm doing this reading, right? Like, you know, we can live in rose-colored like glasses. We can have that perspective about the world around us. I know I definitely fall into that, like looking at the best in people. You know, I like to believe in people's goodness, and that's fine, well and good, but it's just the fact that not really everyone is that way. But what I love about this is Spirit is sending you synchronicities for your eyes to be open about where these lies are coming forth. So you might not necessarily catch this person in a lie verbatim. I feel like there's a disconnect of energy, like they're saying one thing to your face, but then something else is going on behind your back. And you're seeing it, you know, it's enough where, like I said, it's kind of playing on those gut instincts, that intuition, that, you know, the synchronicities, right? And synchronicities can be anything. You know, like I said, it can be a disconnect of energy, saying one thing, doing another, but it can also be like signs, right? From other people, from just your surroundings, like the way Spirit, universe, God, however you understand it, your angels, spirit guides, higher powers, like them putting things in our path that gives us that knowledge and that awareness, and like, oh, like, you know, it could even be a friend telling a story about something completely different that totally resonates with what you're going through. That's a message. That's a synchronicity, right? From spirit, giving you that heads up that, hey, you might want to like look at this person or situation a little deeper versus giving them the benefit of the doubt, right? Because I don't really feel like they deserve it. And I feel like it's actually kind of hindering your own empowerment. Deus ex machina is like when we're like, yeah, you know, it's that very strong, you know, empowerment of like, I am in control of my life. And a lot of times when people are telling us lies, it means that they are trying to disempower us. Maybe it's subconscious for them. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt, right? But there's also this kind of value of trying to throw you off course, right? Like not wanting you to stand in your power, being threatened by what this is. Because this is like, that is the definition of pure empowerment. That is the person who's looking at their surroundings, looking at how people, places, and things are showing up, and using that information to say, you know what, like, obviously this is or isn't working. And, you know, this is a protection reading. So places where, you know, you have that gut instinct, that kind of like deep intuition that someone lied to your face, pay attention to that. Yeah. Because I feel like, and we'll dig a little deeper as to what the situation is, but like, you know, this to me, ooh, yeah, you know, I'm sorry, let me just clarify. Okay. So this is, be mindful of who and what you're dealing with. Because this, like I said, this is all around you kind of cultivating and building your life, your goals, what you have in place. Obviously, because this is a collective reading, it's going to be different for everyone, the situation, but the energy is going to be the same. So the energy of this person that you're dealing with, it's a little like, you know, I mean, obviously if they're lying to you, right? No shade, you know, I mean, we all do our best, right? I will give them that. But I think at the same time, this is someone who, you know, what throws me a little bit is this magic card. So if you know someone who's into ritual, ceremony, etc., there is some magic happening around this. I feel like they kind of, this is, maybe I wasn't saying in this video, but I've said it in a lot of previous videos. This is that value where they're like getting too stuck in the ethers and the spiritual, like kind of in this other world type vibe. It's like, it's when someone's buying into the fantasy that they're selling, right? We all have different ideas, utopian ideas of how we want life to look. But there is that practical component, what's actually happening. And that is where you see how authentic someone is, because we have to yes, we're all spiritual beings. Like we all have consciousness. I believe that, you know, we can really purify that consciousness towards enlightenment, right? We all have that ability. It doesn't matter whether you think you were born with spiritual gifts or not. It's innate in all of us. It's about exercising those muscles, right? And it's great to glean and gather, you know, information and spiritual practices. And I was just saying this, like we did a new moon ceremony at my house the other night. And magic is all about intention. It's like going into church and lighting a candle. What is your intention behind that? It's the same thing. And magic is, you know, like I said, some people get a little leery of it, right? Because it's not under religion or whatever, but you know, religion is actually rooted in a lot of magical practices. That's another story for a different day. You know, but this is basically talking about like someone kind of trying to use that intention in their favor and lying to you about what it is that not only about what they want from you, but how you play a role in that. So Knight of Pentacles, slowest moving energy, Earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And there's our Knight of Swords. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It's sword energy, is air energy. So we have two people kind of coming from completely different perspectives, right? And it's shifting a lot of, you know, and that's where I think the grace component comes into play, especially, you know, I'm really working with that energy in my life of just because someone's operating out of their own wounding doesn't mean that their intention is ill will, you know? Yeah, it can feel bad. It can feel like a slight. We might not like how they show up to handle it, but that's all their own wounding, right? And we have our own wounding. I have my own wounding that I'm bringing to the table. Because this basically talks about, like I said, two completely different perspectives. This is a little slower pace. It's more stubborn, rigid in their energy. The Knight of Pentacles too, like it's like he kind of has his blinders on, you know? It's like he fixes his goal in front of him and says, I'm not veering off course. And it's a great energy when you're building, you know, an empire, because you have to kind of be very tunnel visioned, but it's not a very fluid energy when it comes to the day-to-day, because then we end up getting lost in our rigidity. And that's how this person's approaching you. Like I said, it might not be ill will or bad intention, but it's kind of just like, well, I'm doing it this way and I don't really care what you're doing, you know? And again, it's coming from this place of like lies and insecurity and inability to own their own stuff. They're caught in this like, putting them together. They're caught in this fantasy world. And it makes sense for them because I do, you know, it's about like the way that we work with life. We all have to learn about ourselves, and then we can better understand how we want to show up. But this it's forcing, you know, you to completely shift your perspective around this person. Like I said, you have these intuitive inclinations about the situation. But it's important, actually, this came out in our daily energy today. It's like, I think sometimes, again, we have that sword energy, right? So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. To me, Queen of Swords is very Libran energy because it is diplomatic. It's kind of weighing the pros and cons, seeing things with the emotion removed. You know, there's a couple butterflies that keep attracting me. I feel like it is a rebirth of your empowerment, right? So one of the butterflies is orange, and that reminds me of our sacral chakra, right? And that's kind of where we get that activation energy. The root chakra grounds us. The sacral chakra is like that creative, passionate energy that propels us into taking action, into empowerment. And even if this situation isn't working out, even if you feel like someone's lying to you or, you know, kind of not really acknowledging what's going on, you got to be the bigger person, you know, take a step back, like that value of bird's eye perspective. Sometimes that obstacle or that shut door, right, that no is actually a blessing in disguise, because it's forcing you to get creative. It's forcing you to dig deep with your energy really rely on what your intuition is telling you. We just had a new moon, so really kind of digging into like what you're hearing, and taking that moment to kind of go out and explore your other options. Because I feel like I said, this person isn't specifically including you in their future plans. If you fit the bill, okay. But at the same time, I feel like, it's, well, they have their attention somewhere else is what I'm hearing. This is all that energy of not, like, we have the Lovers, Gemini, duality, partnership. Six of Pentacles is grounding, reciprocity, also that level of give and take, and then the Justice, which is ruled by Libra. And that really that talks about two sides, right? And is there interest? And this person really, like, here's the thing. I feel like they're trying, in their own way with you. But it's just very disconnected. Like I said, the Knight moves so stinking slow. Where like the Knight of Swords is like, all right, let's make a plan of action and let's figure this out and move forward. But the problem is this. There is a imbalance in power, in energy, in equal give and take. Because of that, Six of Pentacles often represents as well, like when someone's breadcrumbing you, right? When they kind of hold and dictate, who gets what, and it's not equal give and take. They can almost like lord over you, right? I was thinking, I was thinking of another deck. It's just like this dude, and he's sitting on top of, his throne, his high horse, and he's dropping a pentacle in someone's hand. That's that vibe. And they're, like I said, it's with that. Okay, so earth energy, like I said, it can be really stubborn. It's someone who's set in their ways or is very fixed on how things need to be done. And so because of that, they're not really willing to involve you in, that equal exchange, right? Like when you sit down and you have a conversation and you figure out how this works best for everyone involved. That's not happening here. And I feel like that kind of goes back to this myth, of lies, whether, sometimes people lie because they actually think that that's what's going on. But this does feel, I'm not going to lie, this does feel like a fudging of the truth. And in a way that this person or situation that you're dealing with is smart enough to know that that's what they're doing. Because Spirit's telling you, yeah, you don't have to sit and get pissed off at them. People do shady shit all the time. That's life. We all want to feel like we're better or express that we're better than what we actually are. But this is basically saying, like, listen to your instincts and make your decisions accordingly. And this card is actually asking you to step outside of this box, whatever it is, and look at other options, other opportunities. Because I feel, and that kind of goes back to that protection mechanism, right? Like, let's look, because I feel like things have been, like I said, it's not equal give and take. It's not balanced. It's them and their success. And that's the only goal. It's not about how this can work out best for everyone involved. And when we are doing certain things with people, whether that's business or relationship or family, we want there to be equal give and take. That's healthy dynamic, right? Not that it's always going to be 50-50. That's generally not the case. But sometimes one party needs a little more love and the other party is in a position to give, and vice versa. But when you start devaluing what that other person brings to the table, etc., then, you know, it starts like forming really unhealthy and toxic patterns because one person is always going to be on top. And that does go back to that Deus Ex Machina energy, because it's, you know, it's like I said, it's like this person wanting control of the situation. Do I think they have the worst intent ever? No, it's not ill will. It's like I said, it's not someone like behind the curtains, you know, like like how can I screw this person over? I don't get that vibe. What I will say is whatever this magic is for them, whether it is ritual, ceremony, or just intention, it's not coming from the best space. It's coming from their own success and their own victory. And that's why, like I said, you're not a factor involved. Guys, I do personal readings as well. So if you want me to look at your specific situation, I'd totally be honored. Love to support in whatever way. So, you know, I mean, I think there is a little jealousy, a little envy is what I'm hearing. And essentially you're kind of blocking this empowerment that I've been talking about. Yeah, dude. I mean, this is crazy, this energy. This is like, you know, this is basically saying you have this opportunity to be independent and fruitful, to like make money. Obviously, this is all Pentacles energy, which really deals with our material world. And then the Chariot is about like that self-assured victory, like really kind of like grabbing the reins of our life and making things happen in order to produce this. But that energy is all being blocked because of this situation, because of this person. You know, there might be some illusion around, like I said, what they could offer, what they could bring to the table. Okay, so what do you need to protect yourself? Be really mindful about new beginnings. Be really mindful about how you show up. Also, 5 of Swords energy. Okay, so this is all about how you communicate. You know, I think sometimes, or maybe this is just me, I don't know, but sometimes, like, you know, we want to speak our truth, right? Like, we want to keep it real. But we have to be mindful about how things are going to be received, etc. Giving someone a polite, like, hey, I'm exploring my other options. I'm kind of like doing my own thing. Thank you so much, but no, thank you. That's a different vibe versus like, well, no, thank you, and here's why you suck. You know what I mean? Or I know you're lying to me about this, that, and the other, right? Like that is going to create a 5 of Swords energy within them, being defensive, being blocked. And then I actually like feel like this is all coming out of a conversation that's actually going to hinder your progress moving forward. Yeah, we have 9 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So being mindful about like how you communicate, how you express, what should you do? Just self-protect, you know, kind of build your money, your finances. You have to be a little bit of a, you know, a hoarder right now when it comes to financial energy, for sure. Because it's, you know, it's going to affect your livelihood. And I feel like, you know, so like I said, I would be really, this situation, it looks like it's not something you're going to be vibing with. I feel like you need to look beyond and find other options, other avenues. But then you also really need to be mindful with how you deal with this situation. Especially if, like, you know, if this is friends, community, family involved, you know, people that you have to face is what I'm hearing. Like people that like you see in your life on the regular. It's going to make it a lot more messy if, you know, you kind of approach it with, you know, anger, frustration, you know. There's opportunities for things to grow. You're getting Uranian energy, so that is kind of like rebelling, fighting for yourself, the little man, for your own opportunities, not letting people take advantage, but also needing that stability and direction. And maybe that's what needs to be communicated, you know? I feel like communication needs to come more out of how this is affecting you, you know, from a humble space, not accusing, not assuming anything about them, even if you instinctually know, even if you have some evidence around it. People really don't take kindly to being proved wrong, right? I mean, no one likes that. Everyone wants to believe that what they're doing is above board, or, you know, justified is probably a better word. That doesn't always mean that it is. And oftentimes we can feel that in our soul when we're making choices that hurt other people, or, you know, are like a little bit more low vibey. But that, again, it's the part of life and learning and evolution. And, you know, I would encourage you to really protect whatever this is that you're growing and building for yourself. I think with this situation, recognizing that this is going to be more about what's in their best interest versus with you. So maybe you still have to work with them a little bit. Yeah, there's still some building going on is what I'm hearing. It's still asking you to kind of commit to this path of being honoring, having integrity, working out of, you know, what is highest. Just because other people don't want to show up in that way of working out of what's highest and best, make sure that you're still making choices that are in alignment with you. You know, make sure that you're showing up how you want to be as a person. And then quietly behind the scenes, it's about kind of seizing these other opportunities that are here for you. Because like I said, this is dope. It's coming in. It's here. Actually, Spirit wants to give you this. But your energy is too wrapped up in this other thing. And until you kind of break some ties with it, recognize that, you know what, I got to look at more opportunities. I got to give myself a little more space. It might not be exactly what, you know, this other person, place, or thing wants, but it is something that like is important for my stability and direction. And then you're going to see these floodgates open up, right? You're going to see that abundance that you've been looking for. So guys, I hope this helps. Sending so much love and blessings around whatever you're navigating with. I know these things are never easy. You know, they're painful, you know, but it's making you stronger. Like I said, it's forcing you to empower yourself, to get creative with your options. You know, and not let people push you over, you know. I hope that you find that power, because you totally deserve it. You don't deserve to be shortchanged or devalued in any way. You are so worthy of so much. Thank you for tuning in. Lots of love and blessings always.